Welcome back. I'm happy to continue our conversation with Camille Burns, the CEO of the Women Presidents Organization. What do we want to talk about now is um, as businesses grow, even from early on, even if they're in the startup phase, there are different types of support they need. We talked about having a peer advisory group, but there are coaches, business coaches, there are mentors and consultants. How do you know when you need help and what kind of support you need?
I think you have to look at what are you looking for, and you have to sort of take a deep dive into what you want to get out of the relationship. I think that coaches can be extremely beneficial when you're looking at yourself as a leader. I know that when I became CEO in the beginning of 2020, I'd been with the organization in a long time. I'd been a COO, I'd been executive vice president, but I did have a coach for that first year and a half. And it was just so extremely helpful in shifting the way I thought about the organization, going from being in the weeds and the operations and really making sure that all these things were happening to thinking a little bit more strategically, a little bit bigger picture about the business and thinking about that direction of the organization. And I think having a coach just helped me, quite frankly, with confidence. It helps with having somebody to go to with and have that kind of one-on-one intimate support. I think with mentors, those are the people you want to look up to. Those are the people who have what you want. Those are the people you can call for advice, you can reach out to and get that kind of advice and inspiration, people you feel safe with and comfortable with. But they may have a very different area of expertise or more of a focus, like they might be someone in your industry where it's very focused to your industry, whereas a coach may be looking at things from a little bit larger or broader perspective. I think in terms of consultants, I look at consultants when you need a very specific type of learning or advice, and you have somebody who really understands something very specific so whether it's the marketing aspect, whatever it is within your company, or it's the operational systems within your company, someone who's coming in with a strategy, whatever it is, a very specific type of expertise. And often with consultants, you also may have a consulting company behind them. They may have different resources than a coach may have, or even a mentor.
Interesting. I started my entrepreneurial journey owning a CPA firm, but I'm also a business owner. I happen to be a coach, a mentor, and a consultant as well, because I also do exit planning. I do different things that have evolved over my journey and personal development. Um, when you look at coaches, athletes have coaches, right? They're usually to improve performance. And how did you go about finding the coach that was the right fit for you? Coaches usually help you focus and identify on problems by asking questions, but they're very performance driven.
Mhm. For me, I reached out to my network. I mean, one of the benefits of having worked in this space for 23 years is I have a pretty large network of a lot of successful people and a lot of people with access to people. So I reached out, used contacts I know, and was connected with a woman that was really excellent for me. She had the business expertise that we needed, but also understood that nonprofit space. She'd worked with presidents of universities and different cultural institutions and different nonprofits because, as you know, there are some. Even though I try to run WPO like a business, there are aspects that are specific to running a nonprofit, and she she was really focused with me on that transition to becoming a CEO. And but it was also I became CEO in January 2020. So there were a lot of things going on if you go back to 2020, and she was just tremendously helpful with me with everything that was going on in the world. And I just would, call her and sort of dump on her everything that was going on. And she helped me think through problems. As you said, she asked incredible questions. But she also, another thing a coach does is they hold you accountable. So if you talk about something, you can't come back week or every other week or however often you're meeting and not do anything. You have to take those steps, you have to take the actions. And I think coaches are really incredible in making sure you stay on track.
I think that's one of the biggest difference between a mentor and a coach, because there is that accountability. And when you're looking for a coach, you have to decide how much accountability you actually want. Um, and it is about helping you find solutions to questions by asking you the right questions. What would, in terms of mentors, I know you've had many mentors because WPO is full of women who've grown $10 million businesses, $20 million businesses, $50 million businesses, and even more. I see a mentor when I do it myself as someone willing to share our wisdom, our knowledge, our vast experience with those who need that kind of guidance. It's a different kind of a guidance. It's not about accountability. It's about professional and personal development. What would you say about some of the mentors you've worked with?
First of all, I think sometimes you need different mentors for different times in your life. And I think that you meet people along the way that become mentors. Sometimes you sort of seek them out and plan that. Sometimes it happens more organically. I think for me, one of the greatest benefits of having mentors in my life is, first of all, people who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. So having that kind of champion, someone who's successful, who you look up to, but also has faith in you and believes in you and can kind of push you to want to move forward. I think that, mentors just have that source of inspiration, right? So they can inspire you, they can make you excited, they can get you really excited about your vision or what you want to do with the organization. But yeah, to your point, Linda, I think that mentors are great for inspiration. They're great to go to with specific questions. They're great for feedback. But I think as you change in life and you move into different roles or you take on new responsibilities, it's helpful to find new mentors along the way and find different people at different phases of your life that may be able to support you where you are at that time and help you think a little differently and just kind of have your back. I mean, that's one of the great things about mentors, at least in my experience, is I always felt like I had these incredible people who had my back.
Yeah, thank you. That's important. And consultants, they're different. As you said, a specific task. They might be process improvement consultants. They might be something about exit planning. It could be about marketing, about sales. But one thing business owners have, whether they're $1 million business or whether they're 250,000 or 500,000, there's a lot of things they don't have a big team. So when do you look outside for a consultant to help you accomplish something? There's usually a specific goal that you want done.
I think, Linda, you just said it. When you've got something in your business that you want to bring to the next level, and you may not have the ability to bring in a team or bring in, you know, the kind of talent that it would take or the expertise or experience, I think consultants can be fantastic. I think also if you want to make a shift in your business in any way, as you said, you're thinking about your exit or your operational efficiency, and to be able to bring your business to the next level, you need to look at your operations. You need to adjust how you're doing things internally. That's where a consultant can just be fantastic. Someone who can come in, have that outside perspective, not sometimes it's tough when you're inside of it to think about things from the outside. You're so in the weeds and you're so in the details. It's so helpful to have someone come in from the outside and be like, have you looked at it this way, or bring in other experience to kind of help you build the organization or take the organization in a different direction.
Exactly. Camille, how can people find you, whether that's on LinkedIn or your website? Tell us how we can find you.
Definitely. Well, our website is women-presidents.com. You can find us there and everything about WPO there. You can always find me on LinkedIn, and it's just Camille Burns. And I am on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. I'm not on a ton of other social media, but the WPO is. So you can find WPO. You can click on our website and follow us on a number of different platforms and just keep up with everything that we're doing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights. I, for one, was reminded how often, as business owners, we're in the weeds. And so it's important to find out what kind of help we need. What support do we need? Do we need accountability? Do we need a coach? Do we need a mentor? For business owners listening, you can often find some mentorship at SCORE. That look in your local communities for help for those who want to give back, who've already built businesses. So thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you'll come back for our next episode of Balancing Acts for another insightful topic. Thank you again for listening.
Thank you so much, Linda.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.